So, Walking Ballista combo. We played a couple iterations of Walking Ballista combo. Let's describe how it works for people that haven't seen it before. So Walking Ballista here has 1/1 counters on it and says you can pay 4 to put a counter on it, and you can remove a counter from it to deal 1 damage to any target. So how does the combo work? Archangel of Thune here says whenever you gain a life, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Then with Sorin, Solemn Visitor, or Sorin, Vengeful Bloodlord, we can give our creatures lifelink. So if you have Ballista with at least 2 counters on it, Archangel of Thune in play, and Sorin, Vengeful Bloodlord, or something out to give this lifelink, we can deal an unlimited amount of damage, because the Walking Ballista will deal 1, it'll gain us a life, it'll trigger Archangel, it'll get a counter back. So that is a 3-card combo to deal unlimited damage. Angelic Skirmisher is one that feels odd here, except this is one of the better cards that we can play that gives our creatures lifelink. So this is another way to provide lifelink to our Walking Ballista. And the reason why we want a creature... Visitor only gives attack, so you need 2 counters still. Angelic Skirmisher, we want a creature that can give lifelink because we're playing Traverse the Ulvenwald. So we want to be able to find all 3 of our combo pieces with Traverse, basically. We also just have some Delirium elements to the deck. We got an Ishkanah Grafwidow here. I've got an Emrakul in the sideboard. So let's go ahead. Oh, I should drop this Legacy League. Let's go ahead and dive on into a Pioneer League and see how this one goes. To set a low bar, this will probably do better than the green-white build that we played. Yeah, Duress, and I think that's a fine and honest assessment. I personally don't care for the play patterns of Nissa, so you're off of standard. Like, I think that's a fair, subjective statement that, like, nobody reasonable can take any problem with. Like, I completely agree that if you are not into Nissa, I think it's a tough standard format for you, because Nissa is definitely omnipresent in the format. But that statement is very different than, like, this standard lacks diversity, for instance, because from an objective standpoint, this standard format has plenty of diversity. Speaking to what it does for you personally is definitely a better place to come from. Hand needs to draw some lands, but, like, this deck has a lot of mana in it. Like, we're only playing 24 lands, but we, like, have 3 Traverse and we have 2 Grizzly Salvage, so, like, in a way, we've got, like, 29 cards that get us to mana. Yeah, but fun games are super subjective. And like I said, I think there's a lot of people, especially people that are drawn to non-rotating formats, that they aren't happy unless they can fill a specific niche. And, like, once their niche becomes popular, they're off it. And, like, standard often doesn't appeal to that type of player. And that's fine. Something we've often said, the great thing about Magic is not every format has to appeal to every type of player. But, like, that's generally speaking how established standard formats go. Huh? I think I take their Spell Queller here. Maybe I just take their Supreme Phantom. Yeah, I'm going to take the Supreme Phantom so that way Walking Ballista can trade with Rattle Chains. Yeah, I definitely think that standard, because of cards like Nissa and Hydroid Crisis, has been very hostile to traditional mid-range for a good long while. The last time traditional mid-range was playable in Standard, I think, was like pre-War of the Spark. They announced last week that there wouldn't be another ban list update until the 6th. You have to spend 10 mana to get Walking Ballista out of Queller range. No, you have to spend, infinitely less than that. It's 6. The converted mana cost of a spell on the stack is the total amount of mana. Just gonna go ahead and do this. Hitting on Blue-Red Phoenix and Pioneer, Thing in the Ice, or Young Pyromancer. I think if you are expecting to play against a lot of... If you're expecting to play against a lot of control and ramp, Young Pyromancer is much better. I think Thing in the Ice is better against creature decks. Pyromancer is better against decks that are trying to ignore you. I could remove the other counter and, like, trade this for this, but I don't really want to trade this for this, I don't think. Acromax. I don't know, if your hope is less Magic Online, I understand if me doing close to 50-50 puts some people off, but I'm not really planning to do less Moto anytime soon. My plan is to have about 40 to 50% of my content be Magic Online, just for reference. Just be above the board and honest. This is a Moto only. Hallowed Fountain Full Art. Spell Queller that one. We're actually pretty close to comboing them here. Tilt. I would be very surprised if Pioneer came to Magic Online in a shorter than or came to Magic Arena in a shorter than a 3-year time span. Tefreeze and Brazen Borrowers. Yay, Magic. Their hand right now is Eagle, Spell Queller, and then 2 cards I don't know. Don't bounce me again. Don't do it. Have a heart. Abrupt Decay is a pretty good draw. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. Oh, I'm so dumb. They have Teferi. I can't Abrupt Decay it. I just, you know, at some point I'll remember how Magic works. At some point, I will have played enough against this stain of a Magic card that, like, stuff like that won't happen. It won't be today, though. It won't be today. Today is not that day. The good news is, with the second Archangel in my hand here, we get to combo them next turn, assuming they have nothing. Oh, I could have just comboed them last turn, right? Yeah, because the Sorin ping would give the Ballista a counter. Yeah, that's a good thought. So this pluses and gives it a counter, and then it gets going from there. Okay, that makes sense. All right, save targets always yield. Look at that. Already, so like the green-white build never did the thing, so you know. Match 1, game 1 did the thing. Hey, good morning, Scholar. So again, I can just sit here and remove a counter. Every time I remove a counter, I get a counter, I gain a life. Rinse, repeat. Legacy was a dumpster fire this morning, unfortunately. Gosh, Ishkanah is kind of disgusting in this matchup, huh? Real good. Bring in our removal. Honestly, Deck and Stone and Noxious Grass are probably good here too, huh? I think it's just like an all Doomblades on deck matchup. I need 2 more cuts here. Emrakul is for control and mid-range matchups. This was a build around Submission Endos. This is the deck that I put together. This is a card that's very good at grinding, so if you think your match is going to go to a point where you're going to play 7, 8, 9 lands out, this card's very good. Yeah, it might be worth trimming a Sorin. He gets Spellquellered. Emrakul. Emrakul is a top-end bomb that often ends long games. Yeah, I basically took the established Delirium list that's like been putting up results and like shoehorned the combo into it. So like the core function of this deck is definitely reasonable because it's like the core of another deck that's good. Yeah, I mean, this combo is definitely just black-white, so, like, you could definitely slip in a different third colors. The Cruel's Ultimatum, thank you for the 14 months, I appreciate that, welcome back. Have a spell. Have a spell. Have a spell. Alright, they have a spell. Deal. Pretty happy to turn that into Doomblade, honestly. Hopefully the salvage gets us a land to put some card types in the bin. We can cast this on 5. They probably can't beat it with Delirium. Spider Mom makes a bunch of spider babies. Land. Perfect. Drawing a land here is great, because it means I don't have to play into a Spell Queller. Which feels good. I think trimming Thoughtseize in a matchup like this where my opponent's likely to have counter magic tends to be wrong. Because Thoughtseize allows us to generate double spell turns easier to be able to force through a card that we really need to resolve. Perfect. Yeah, that feels bad, man. Deck the halls with balls of rattle chain. Fa la 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 la. I mean, to be fair, Croker, that game never had a lot of viewers. How's Teamfight Tactics doing? Teamfight was the one that always had the pile of viewers. So we really wanted an untapped land there so we could start slamming Spider Moms. Spooter Moms and Spooter Babies. Teamfight Tactics is currently at 9K viewers. Yeah, I think the genre as a whole was kind of a flash in the pan. The replayability on it felt low to me personally. Untapped land. Untapped land. Another 5-drop. Alright, I mean, like, all things considered, there were definitely worse draws there. Yeah, the problem, Percy, is that it wasn't really marketed. Like, the pricing model, like, the way the game like that was made, they need, this is gonna be like a shock land, they needed, feels magic, man, feels magic, man. Games like that needed long-term players in order to actually be profitable. Like, those free-to-play games can't just be like a flash-in-the-pan short-term play because, like, they didn't get $40 or $50 a copy like you do a retail game. Alright, so I'll grab my second white source here because I already have double black. I don't need double green because I boarded out Courser. Yeah, the auto chest thing was definitely a bunch of game companies really worried that they were gonna miss out on the next big thing. And they didn't want to, like, have something be the next Dota and, like, have it end up not being that. That's true. Toast did take Facebook's money. Forgot about that. Ninjas were a little rough around the edges, Fox. I mean, if they blink here, I put a counter on this and kill their rattle chains, right? This seems loose. Yeah, they probably have a second spell queller. I agree with that assessment. So 1 card type in my bin right now. This adds 2 card types. Instant is a 4th, so I can Ishkanah. We can Spooter Mom with Delirium next turn. Yeah, the fact that our combo pieces are just like constructed playable cards is really good for us, for sure. I'm gonna go ahead and trophy this and see what they do. They could have another rattle chains here. But this is fine because it means I don't get stroked on this Ishkanah next turn. Morning Wind. You find me submitting Feather for Pioneer? Yeah, definitely. Deck one's great. In fact, I'm gonna make a note to put the Feather deck up on the Pioneer section of the website. Ran so late last night, didn't get a chance to do it then. So I get to play this. They spell queller it. I deck and stone their spell quellers. Really? Well, that's great. Yeah, Feather is a fun type of deck to play. Enjoy it as an archetype. Ninjas were kind of a dumpster fire this morning. Sweet, Mike. Yeah, that one's in the deck queue. Hopefully we'll get to it later this week or next week. 3-5 is just such a huge brick wall. I can just put my preferred list together if you want. I'm okay doing that. What would win? An entire army of spirits or one spider mom? We can start activating Ishkanah to drain them out. This card, sorry, whenever you get to use the Ishkanah flavor text, it's just like, flavor text. Well, that's aggressive. Three, 6, 9, 11. Yeah, I agree. If they had a 2-for-1, they could probably win the game that I haven't drawn any spells in. I agree that that's a possibility. Now I think they're very dead. They let their lord die, and the Walking Ballista just slaughters them. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't save the lord. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Thanks, Fox. I appreciate the absurd support last month. Hope your end of year is going swell. Yeah, sand looks great. Yeah, that looked like a I'm bored of looking at this spider a space attack all. For sure. Yeah, just take their Thoughtseize here. The old Thoughtseize, a tried and true strategy. Hey, Chris, thanks for the 13 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I think I'm just traversing for a land at this point. Grab my second white. Have double green, double black. Ninjas was a rough set. The mana base was kind of awkward. Among other things. Nissa of our own. Alright, I guess I'll start with that. One of the things that's really sweet in this deck is that with Nissa Vastwood Seer, Sorin Vengeful Bloodlord can rebuy a Planeswalker from our bin. This eventually flips over into Nissa Sage Animist. Tracker's a little scary. I'm just going to go ahead and trade here. I can get mine back later. Yeah, we just Walking Ballista this Tireless Tracker, right? Just cut their card advantage off at the pass. I've got plenty of card advantage in my hand, so we just want to 1-for-1 them a bunch so my card advantage can take over. I think the flip Planeswalkers in general are just like excellent designs by and large. Huh? I think I'm actually just gonna Sorin here. Because Sorin, I guess they have like a Murderous Rider. What do I want to do here? I think I just want to Sorin because I can Sorin, get back my Nissa, and then like I have a threat that remains in play here. And then next turn I can have 6 lands, which will let me double spell. So Sorin is most mana efficient this turn, and it puts 2 threats into play. Like this is a sweet turn. Guy Fieri Ball, thank you for the 11 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I unfortunately do not have a third basic forest in my deck, which may or may not be right. It's possible I should have tried to fit one in, maybe even as just a 25th land. I'm also not sure that this Sorin is ideal. It might be right to just have 4 of this Sorin in my deck, honestly. Sweet. Actually, is that sweet? I think I'm just playing Liliana and then down-ticking her here. Just so I again, just get my 2-for-1s in. I think I actually want this Nissa back again, because I'm at 6 lands, right? So if they can't kill this next turn, like they have to decide what do they want to decay. I actually finished The Witcher. The Witcher series got a lot better as it went on. I do think the way that they did the timing, where like you didn't understand that like you were like watching different timelines, was super awkward. But yes, Fabled Passage is good at flipping Nissa as well, which is great. Hey, Max Attacks, good to have you here. Thanks for keeping me around. Let's decay that. I also feel like, as someone who didn't play any of the Witcher video games, they could have done a much better job of helping us understand like what a Witcher was, because like I think I kind of understand, but I also don't really. So I'm electing to play this Sorin here as opposed to the Nissa Vastwood Seer, because I want this Sorin Vengeful Bloodlord that's on top of my deck. Yeah, so like they're a bounty hunter, but they're also like genetically created or specially trained or mutated or something like that. So like that part didn't really make sense. Yeah, like, so like what's the detail on that? I feel like I'm missing. Yeah, actually, one of the things I think Game of Thrones does really well is I love that the Game of Thrones intro, shows you a map of the land that you're supposed to be looking at. And I think The Witcher and other series that are like trying to have this big world feel would be well served to do something similar. So now, and this is the squeeze you put on people in Standard with Evolving Wilds. If they go to kill this Nissa in response to her trigger, I get to crack this fetch, which then flips her. So I'm basically going to get guaranteed card advantage out of this Nissa. And I'm going to decline shuffling my deck because I want this Walking Ballista. So now I play this land out of my hand, which flips the Nissa, and if they go to kill her in response to her flipping, I crack the Fabled Passage and flip her again. Oh, I stacked my triggers wrong. I was just explaining how good this was, and then I stacked my triggers wrong. So I needed to stack that, so we're still super far ahead right now, but I needed to stack that so the Courser trigger resolved first there. So pretty big mistake on my part, but we're also just like have so much card advantage at the moment that it's really not a big deal. I also have, like, in addition to being super far ahead on board right now, I'm set up to combo kill them next turn, right? Like, next turn, Sorin down ticks for 5 and picks Archangel back up, and then I play Ballista and kill them. So they're dead. Save targets, always yield. Always yield. So our opponent and I are like playing like a pseudo mirror match, only our version of our deck in this version of this mirror has a combo kill in it. Which feels like a sweet place to be. Like we're both doing similar things, but I get to combo kill them. Alright, how in the heck do I want to sideboard this? Yes, we are playing an unfair deck. Our deck, by the definition of unfair in Magic, is unfair. It is a combo deck. I think I want to cut Thoughtseizes. I just want more cards that play to the board. While Thoughtseize feels very good early, as you get into the mid game, you just want as many cards that impact the current board state as possible. Maybe Kalitas isn't good enough here. Need one more cut here. Thanks for the 14 monstricles. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Maybe I just don't want Deckenstone. Could be a reasonable trim. Yeah, we didn't see Delirium cards out of them, but they could have had them. I don't know. Like, again, it's not like... Sideboarding's not about bringing in all your good cards. It's about finding your best 60. So, like, you know, there's Noxious Grasp in my sideboard here still against the Tireless Tracker deck. Maybe those are supposed to be coming in. I don't know. This hand's kind of a 3-lander. Traverse can go fetch us a basic. Yeah, Fabled Passage to enable a Fatal Push to kill a 3-drop, which is nice. Sideboarding is about smugly looking into your deck box and then shrugging and looking back at your opponent. I don't need sideboard cards. Come on now, my deck's perfect. So my opponent kept their 7 and now is taking their sweet time. What role do you see Ishkanah playing in mono green Stoppy and Historic, if any? Well, Ishkanah's not legal in Historic, so I'm uncertain. Did they announce that they're reprinting it? Hey, my fist. Thanks for the quarter viewer. I appreciate that. Welcome back. You mean the other spider. I have no idea what other spider you're talking about. If you're talking about spoilers, I don't really look at spoilers. I'll sit down at the end of the week and go through them all, but life's busy and spoilers aren't applicable to the Magic I'm playing this week. Pick your favorite. I mean, it's not even just that, like, people submit decks to me and do some of the brewing for me, so much as it's also just, like, the people already brewing are wasting their own time. Like, there's no point in brewing already. No, there's nothing competitive about tribal spiders. I've got plenty of sweet decks that are possibly competitive to take something like that. All right, we got 4 card types in the bin. And this is why I decided to try a Delirium shell with this archetype, because, like, incidentally getting Delirium when you, like, are interested in playing, like, Walking Ballista and Courser anyways is pretty trivial. Mastermind's Acquisition, sure. Wonder if they're a Seasons Pass deck. We didn't see Traverse out of them. They could just be a Seasons Pass deck. Sure. Wonder if they're going to take our Archangel of Thunes away, since we comboed them last game. Okay. And this one doesn't let us draw cards, right? It actually gets a 1-for-1. No, it does let us draw cards. Sure, deal. So, like, and again, this is like, they technically took our combo away, but, like, I'm just going to play Ishkanah next turn, right? So, like, they have to beat my fair plan here. They're definitely a Seasons Pass deck with Lost Legacy. They have to beat Emrakul, the Promised End. This match is showing some of the powerful flexibility of this deck. Just like the ability to oops kill you while also just being like, okay, I'm a mid-range deck. So we're going to get, like, Languished here, which leaves Ishkanah alive. Yeah, they have to beat the flavor text too. Could get Ritual Asserted too. I'm expecting some kind of sweeper to happen here. But there isn't a black sweeper that also kills Ishkanah, so, like, we're still in an okay spot here. Oh, you know what? I didn't put a Questing Beast in this sideboard. There should probably be a Questing Beast in this 75. Just as a haste threat. This puts a 6th card type in my bin, which means if we draw running lands, we get to Emrakul the Promised End them. That's so much better than a land. It's kind of unreal. I might want a 3rd forest in this deck, because of how good Nissa is and how many times we can rebuy her. My hand's really good. I think leaving in discard spells in these types of matchups is a mistake. You just want more cards that impact the board. Wouldn't be surprised if they concede here, yep. Yeah. Yep. Yep. This felt good so far. Definitely better than the more all-in linear build. We were one land off of casting Emrakul. I had 6 card types in my bin. Hey, Guy, good morning. Thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. Welcome to Hoaglandia. So thoughts on this so far. I want a 3rd forest for Nissa Vastwood Seer. Honestly, I might just want another Nissa Vastwood Seer. Was the push type 7? Do I have 7 types in here? Instant, sorcery, creature, land, planeswalker, artifact, enchantment. Oh, it was 7, wasn't it? God, this is a good Emrakul deck. Maybe Emrakul should be in my main. Nah, it's probably fine in the sideboard. This is probably too cute and unnecessary. This is probably unnecessary. Sorin, Vengeful, Bloodlord, rebuying Planeswalkers is great. Is Nissa better than Courser? They're different. You definitely want both. You also want Courser because it helps give you Delirium. Like Courser is the enchantment card type for Delirium, which is a big deal. Like, I think I want a second Nissa, but I don't want to cut a Courser. Maybe these Grizzly salvages are unnecessary. If I'm going up a land, I could maybe cut those. Like, cut the salvages, cut the skirmishers, like, add a forest, add a Nissa, maybe add a Liliana the last hope. Liliana's another way to rebuy Courser. Nissa does not count as a planeswalker in the bin, just a creature. Just the front half. Solemn Visitor's okay. Part of the appeal of Solemn Visitor is I just don't think you want 4 of the same 4-mana Planeswalker. I think, like, that's going to lead to us drawing too many of the same one too often. Yeah, fitting Questing Beast in the sideboard might be good too. Yeah, I'm excited for January 6th just because it's the last regular out-of-cycle update, so I think a lot more people are going to be more comfortable buying in and getting involved in the format. Like, I would bet the popularity of this format is going to go up even more once the 6th happens and the format basically exits public beta. That's basically what the format's in right now. It's like public beta. The curve of Nissa into Sorin is also really sweet, because people mostly want to kill Nissa on sight. So, like, if you play Nissa on 3, she gets a land, they kill her, you Sorin on 4, get her back, get another land. Like, they have to kill her again, and they have to answer your Sorin. Hey, Just a Victim, thanks for the 5 months. Happy New Year to you, too. Sorin curving into Archangel is also just, like, pretty good on its own, too. Because you, like, have Sorin in play Archangel on 5, uptick your Sorin, immediately get 1/1 counters on everything, even if you're not comboing. Okay, so they're getting a bird back here. They're going on a boat ride to do it. I don't have that much graveyard hate in my sideboard, which could be worrisome. I guess I have Kalitas and Skews. I think I'm going to play Fabled Passage and pass here. This is a pretty good turn for us. I get to fetch, Fatal Push the Arclight Phoenix, and then Abrupt Decay, the thing in the ice. Archangel is also not legendary, and they work together in pairs, which is nice. I get Lightning Axe here. I'm going to feel pretty bad, but outside of Lightning Axe, we're in a pretty good spot with her in play. I'd be kind of surprised if they're playing Mizium Mortars in the main deck. Generally speaking, in the Phoenix deck, you want your cards to all be as proactive as possible. And like, Lightning Axe gets the pass because it's a discard outlet. Weird, Cordemi. It's pretty good. Pretty good one. Thinking the ice is pretty scary. And we're dead. Trying to play 5-mana creature in this matchup is tough sell. It's not particularly good most of the time, believe it or not. Spider Mom's good. Skirmisher's not great. This is probably a matchup where I end up just boarding down on the combo. Maybe. I don't think that's true at all, Stegall. We didn't lose that game because of Treasure Cruise. We didn't lose that game because of their card advantage. We lost that game because my opponent was able to kill us. So, like, we were unable to beat their tempo. It's not that we were unable to beat their card advantage. The individual quality of my cards was much better than theirs and would have been able to play through just simple card advantage. The fact that they killed my things and tempoed my things back to my hand is what prevented me from winning that game or being able to be in that game. So I think, like, pegging that win on Treasure Cruise is misplacing the blame or misunderstanding what actually happened to cause us to lose. What, again, CK Lau, you're not new here. I'm just like, when people aren't new here, can't follow the rules for deck suggestions, just gonna take a break. It's easier. My life's easier that way. Don't require me to tell you your idea is bad. Tell me instead why your idea is good. We mulligan to 5. I have to throw 2 cards back here. Feels bad, man. Probably those 2. Remember, if you want to make good, useful card suggestions, focus on this is a problem, this is a solution. Make an effort to explain why the thing you're recommending is a solution to the problem you've identified. Ideally, you should also recommend a cut as well. And I know that that's a lot of work and it's a lot of effort and it's often hard to do, but that's a good way to filter out bad card suggestions. If you can't think of a reason why your card suggestion is good, why should I put effort into talking to you about it? There's, you know, almost 1,000 people in chat, and if all of them just threw out constant bad card suggestions to me, the whole stream would just be me telling people why their ideas suck. So, expecting people to put in a little bit of effort ahead of time helps us mitigate that. Magic, one of the reasons why Magic is such a great game is because there's just so many different combinations of cards that you can be playing, right? And you gotta have a reasonable, systematic way to figure out how to narrow down that vast card pool. Yeah, I agree. I frequently turn off streams, but it is not uncommon for Magic streams to devolve into what I just described because the person running the stream is trying to be nice. And they feel like if they just ask people to make higher quality card suggestions, that they'll lose viewers. And I feel like a lot of people often underestimate the silent viewer that leaves without saying anything. The only thing better than the record command is the rank command. Rank command, also excellent. I can't take credit for the rank command. That was one of the mods that put that one in there, but it is just chef's kiss fantastic. For those of you who are watching on YouTube and you can't see the bot responses in chat, the rank command makes the bot respond with, "You sure are, go take a shower." Man, this takes me back, chat. Just like Courser in play, bricking on lands on top. Feels like home. They flip this thing, we're probably just dead. Just don't have any interaction. Feels bad, yep. This matchup feels hard. Phoenixes and the tempo combined with how expensive our average card is. I wonder if it could possibly be worth it to just pivot off the Delirium Plan post board here and just jam a bunch of Rest in Peace. I could see that being a reasonable conclusion. That's a 6-mana Lightning Hex. Yep. Land. Good lord. I'm done. We're gonna die to this thing before anything happens. There's no removal in sight, no lands in sight. Let's roll on to the next one. You make it hard to love you, Courser. That's That's accurate. Harsh but fair. Easy mulligan here. Not super exciting, but fine. Bottom this Temple Garden. There's something super fast. We might have a hard time here. Those are if there's something super fast, we might have a hard time. The words of everybody about to be playing against Basic Mountain. Oh, Lava Axe myself. Oh. Huh. Huh. I feel like I'm supposed to take Hardicaran here, even though they can't crew it. Just because, like, that card's gonna punish my dumpster. If they do find a way to crew it anytime soon. Dang it, Bobby! Dang it, Bobby! Classic Thoughtseize bug. The truth is out there, sheeple. You just gotta let it in. The Shuffler's as rigged as the earth is flat. They're coming for you, chat. They're coming for you. Yeah, the Blue-Red Flash is kind of a tempo deck. It's probably the closest thing in the current standard format to a tempo deck that you're gonna get. Ooh, that's a good draw, yeah? We got 2 shots to draw a white source. The red aggro matchup's probably not terrible for this deck. Like, Archangel, if we can live to get there, like, single-handedly takes it over, right? Block. Sweet. So we'll traverse for our second planes. This is why we have 2 of each basic in our deck. So this way, Fabled Passage and Traverse can always get our missing color. Hoping to fade a black source for one more turn here so we can slam the Archangel next turn. Okay. I guess that's pretty scary because it down ticks to kill Archangel. Or it doesn't down tick to kill Archangel. It down ticks to kill my Nissa and then Archangel gets to take over the game. Ip cheerio, mate. Kalitas is a sad one for them to get to Thoughtseize here, but, you know. Then they're gonna cash this Beaumont Courier in for 2 cards, I imagine. They'll attack, trigger, sacrifice it. I don't know that we're fully in garbage time just yet. Like, they could technically draw 2 burn spells and kill this, then we're super far behind, right? But if we get to untap with this, we definitely get game gets further and further away from them, right? Like gain 3, get this out of the range of your next Chandra. They could be playing Unlicensed Disintegration in their deck, so that could be an out to this Archangel. Like, because they have the Black Splash, they have some play to it, to them. Whew! Just got out of Glory Banger range, too. That's exciting. If we never draw a spell and they have a bunch of dragons, we could be in trouble here. Like, I'm gaining 1 extra each turn, but, you know, the one spell we drew in the last 3 turns got Thoughtseized. Yep. Okay. Ho! Ho ho ho! Oh! Spider Mom, doing whatever a Spider Mom does. Do 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 do. Spider Mom, do do do. Trigger. Whee! Ishkanah, for those not familiar, ladies and gentlemen. Got some chonky spider friends. Chonky spider friends. Again, great example of our deck's fair game plan at work. Like, even if they have a second banger here at this point, it's not good enough. They have a burn spell too? Sure. Sure. Yep, you got it. I guess I died a lightning strike with these blocks. I think that's correct though. Well, we haven't drawn a lot of spells, but the spells we have drawn have been real good. So, you know, we got that going for us. We don't have a lot of spells, but the ones we do have, they certainly count. Are you dead yet? Archangel of Thune just like picking the game up on her back and carrying it across the finish line there. Just full on hold my beer. Alright, so this is not a Thoughtseize matchup. I just want cards that play to the board. This is not... I know she can kill their 1-mana artifact thing, but I think that's too clunky on average. Extra Spider Mom's definitely something we're in the market for. The grind from Vastwood Seer, probably not particularly useful here. And this is really just like, the appeal of playing this deck is like, Walking Ballista is a constructed playable card, Archangel of Thune is like pretty close to a constructed playable card, it's just an awesome bomb in certain matchups like this one. And then even Sorin Vengeful Bloodlord, like rebuying Archangels, Coursers, Nissas, Ishkanahs is just like super reasonable. I like what this one's doing. This is definitely one I could see working on some more. It says, what I'm probably going to throw up on the website. It's pretty unique. Has a good gameplay to it. fact, I'm gonna... That typing was me messaging my art guy to say, hey, get me a banner for this one. Even if we lose out from here, I feel like I've enjoyed playing this enough. There's like something here worth working on. I don't know. I think we have a loss. We lost a match, right? Yeah, we lost a match. The record doesn't matter. There's one thing I can hammer home on people for deck lists is that the record doesn't matter. Our sample sizes are so incredibly small that they're statistically insignificant. Hey, Tofu Cow, let's get you a sword. Yeah, it's pretty good. Sweet. Go ahead and just use my fatal push here. You do in fact have a shield now, dude light. Our deck's high mana cost catching up with us a little bit here. Probably just gonna play Sorin on an empty board next turn. It's just like, hey, look, a distraction, gain 7, hopefully. No, I'm just putting the 3 combo pieces in the banner, Fox. Archangel, Sorin, and Ballista. Shadows, thanks for the 9 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Deltherius, thanks for the 17 months. Hope you're having an excellent Tuesday wherever you're at in the world. So I'll have 2 more decks to add to the site tonight. Feather plus Abzan combo. I'm excited to eventually, as Pioneer develops over the next year, like, at one point, the modern section of my website had like 50 decks on it. And I'm excited to expand Pioneer more and more to eventually get to a point like that. Yeah, Sorin does poke Chandra. Gains a little bit of life. Oh, you know what this deck probably wants? There should be a Massacre Girl in my package. Questing Beast likely too, but there should definitely be a Massacre Girl in my 75. The 48-month badge is this one. It is a tower to put on your property. Like a sweeper to be able to tutor for a Massacre Girl. Yeah, I agree, Shep. At a certain point, I'm gonna have to sit down and implement the search function like I have for the modern portion. Sort them by categories and add some search functions. Probably once we start getting past into the double digits, starts to become a little unruly. If their last card's blank, okay, so these Beaumont Couriers give them the chance to hit something here. They have a draw 3, but like a lot of what they could draw doesn't beat the Archangel this turn, right? I'm a set behind an Arena and have nothing on Moto. Would you recommend sticking with Arena or putting money into Pioneer? That's just purely a personal enjoyment question. If you think you would get more enjoyment out of playing Magic Online, I'd recommend Magic Online. If you think you'd get more enjoyment out of Arena, I'd recommend Arena. Yeah, I like this build better than the Vraska build for sure. That's brutal. Well, we were gonna be in an okay spot. Because I was going to get double triggers. And then we drew another land. Thoughtseize is such an ass Magic card. It really sucks. Guess I trophy this now so they can't draw 4 more cards. So I'm actually going to start tomorrow with the Court of Calling modern deck Matt wants me to try. Because it looks kind of fun. So game swung from us being ahead to us being behind very quickly on the back of that Thoughtseize. I think Inquisition is bad for a lot of the same reasons that Thoughtseize is bad. I think 1 mana largely unconditional counterspells suck. Krala, thanks for the quarter of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Am I dead on board? I believe so. What are we hoping to draw here? We're hoping to draw Ishkanah or... How about another land? Yeah, feels Magic Band. All right, we'll take the 3rd game on the play. I think Thought Erasure is closer to okay because it's way more restrictive in what decks can play it, and it's also twice as slow. But in general, I think discard spells like that are bad game design because they explicitly remove choices from one player. In good game design, good games allow both players or all players to make meaningful decisions, and cards like Thoughtseize, Thought Erasure, and Inquisition serve explicitly to remove decisions from one of the people playing the game. Yes, as mentioned, Chad, I've tweeted this, we've talked about this before. The only appropriate discard spell, in my opinion, is Blackmail, the way that is templated. Blackmail is an example of a 1 mana card that gives both players player agency. I mean, you can answer your own question, Aaron. Does Goblin Lore or Burning Inquiry give players decisions to make? No, it doesn't. So it's not very good design. Thanks for the 36 months, Mr. Silicon. I appreciate that. It's a long time. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, I think I'm just going to jam that here. I don't like, you just described Thoughtseize, right, Skara? Which we're explicitly discussing as not being great design. We've done the thing twice, in fact. This deck's been really good. I'm gonna be adding it up to the website tonight. Oh, you mean the person... The cards like that aren't playable. There's plenty of cards that just, like, make your opponent discard a card at random, and they're generally speaking not very good. This is a reason to have not played my Walking Ballista there. This is a punish for waiting on the Scavenging Ooze. Hey, Onid. Thanks for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome to Hoaglandia. You're having an excellent day wherever you are. Bang me, daddy, bang me. Yep. Unfortunately, do not have a black source to leave up to, That being said, we get to see some good synergy here, which is Archangel with Courser, so we get to play this and trigger Archangel right away here, which is great. Unfortunately, drawing another blank next turn. A lot of lands in a row on top of our deck. If they don't have a removal spell for Archangel, though, it doesn't really matter how many blanks in a row are on top of our deck, so they're just not going to be able to recover. That's a good one. Go. Okay, here's a different take that's actually thinks through what you're saying, Gilger. Thoughtseize is often a tempo gain because the way in which you Thoughtseize frequently disrupts your opponent's curve and causes them to play in mana inefficient ways if you're casting Thoughtseize correctly. So your take that Thoughtseize is always tempo negative is not correct when you think critically about how Thoughtseize actually plays out in the games that you're playing. Frequently the correct decision with Thoughtseize is to break up your opponent's curve. Yeah, Thoughtseize also frequently generates what we would refer to as virtual card advantage, because Thoughtseize is also frequently taking cards that would otherwise be 2-for-1-ing you. So like, when you get to take your opponent's like card that's going to generate a lot of value with Thoughtseize, it then doesn't generate any value and they don't do anything. If they Thoughtseize me, this hand sucks because they can take my Traverse, but I think I keep this. So I can go fetch Forest with Passage, turn 2, Traverse for Swamp, and Thoughtseize or push on 2. Thanks for the 31 months, Omni. I appreciate that. Welcome back. If this is Phoenix again, I think I'm going to just concede the match and go on to the next one, because I don't think, as constructed, our deck is very good against Phoenix. I think we just get slaughtered most of the time. Yeah. Yeah, I'll play game 1. I don't know. I feel like as constructed, we don't have a very good chance here, though. Thanks for the host tracks. Hope you had a good stream this morning. Our deck just has like too many expensive cards in it. Yeah, I'm off it. Let's talk about how to improve this deck. I kind of feel like I know what I want to say in the end here, and like when I know what I want to do with the deck, I'm generally like off it. All right, so. Things I was happy with, things I was not happy with. Yeah, this deck feels like it has a lot of potential. So, I think Grizzly Salvage was a little bit expensive and unnecessary. This was a cute idea, but honestly, the individual quality of my cards is good enough that I think I just don't need to be able to find this last combo piece with Traverse. So I think I'm going to cut these. Nissa really felt good at a lot of points. So I think I want a second Nissa, and I also want a third Forest to be able to find with Nissa, because when we were rebuying Nissa with both Sorin and Liliana, we were running out with just those 2 forests in our deck. So second Forest, 25th land, that leaves me 1 more main deck slot here. Leaves me 1 more main deck slot. Yeah, it could just be play the Emrakul in the main. Massacre Girl could also be okay in the main. Yeah, this could be okay. Our Lotus Field matchup is probably not good. And that's probably a reason to play some Damping Spheres in the sideboard. Probably a reason to play some Damping Spheres in the sideboard. Like Shave of Duress. I like the extra Ishkanah. Yeah, you can play 2 to 3 spheres in the sideboard to make that matchup a bit better. Questing Beast could be okay. I think 3 Nissa is too many. She's legendary, and I think once you get into 3 Nissas, you don't want these forests. I think these Scavenging Oozes just aren't good enough. and I would get rid of them, and I would just play some Rest in Peace. I think as long as Phoenix is a game plan, I didn't put Rest in Peace in initially because I didn't put Rest in Peace in initially because we're a Delirium deck, but I think honestly we just like cut the Traverse, some number of the Traverses in that matchup, and we just like want a big anti-graveyard card. Duress is theoretically for the blue-white control matchup, but it's also very possible that, like, we just don't need extra help there because a lot of our deck generates so much value. These Noxious Grasps might also be a little bit redundant. So, like I said, there's a lot of different things you can do with this deck. I mentioned I want a Massacre Girl as well. So, when you have tutor packages, there's lots of little things that you could... We could just leyline them, huh? I'd sit, Reese. Yeah, 2 Kalitas might be unnecessary too. Like I said, there's a lot of tiny knobs you could turn. Maybe you want Leyline versus Rest in Peace. The problem with Leyline is it has to be in your opener to be relevant. The upside to Leyline is that it doesn't get, like, spell pierced and stuff. I guess Leyline's also worse, though, in the face of Brazen Borrower, right? Like, Brazen Bar... I think because these Phoenix decks are actually playing a bunch of Brazen Borrowers, I'd rather have Rest in Peace. Yeah, I think something like this. I'll probably put some more thought into this deck this evening. This one's definitely going up on my website tonight. So if you want to if you're watching this on YouTube, that probably means it's up on my website already. So I think I'm going to put some more thought in it tonight. This definitely is one that's neat and feels like there's something here. The fair game plan is good. Archangel and Ballista are just like reasonable cards. Ballista enables Delirium really well, especially alongside Courser of Kruphix, so... No, I don't... Again, like, people that are focusing on Leyline, like, 1, Brazen Borrower makes Leyline really bad. 2, I don't think having Traverse and Grafwidow turned off, these are our 2 Delirium cards, is a big deal in the Phoenix matchup. Because Ishkanah gets hosed by Thing in the Ice anyways. And Traverse, like, when their deck is under Rest in Peace, it's not a big deal that our Traverses just lay the land. So, alright. Anywho, what are we doing? We're going to play some red-black mid-range up next year. I'm going to export this just in case Moto forgets to save it, because Moto randomly does that. Alright, we're going to play some red-black mid-range up next here. Fair mid-range cards. I made a quick ad roll while I get set up with this. I have to place an order with my sponsor to grab cards. We'll be back in just a few minutes with some more Pioneer with this. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. Hope you're having a good one wherever you're at.